Well, good morning. It's about 6:30 a.m. getting ready for my morning run. This morning I'm going to do 8.5 miles, easy run, and get some endorphins going, get a sweat going, and continuing my marathon prep at the same time, trying to shed some fat without hindering my performance because I'm eating in a calorie deficit now.
Y'all, that's a wrap. 8.5 miles in the books. Feeling good, feeling strong actually. I was able to keep under the pace that I was projecting to run, so feel good about that. And now it's time to do a quick little stretching routine. Let me show you. The secret to feeling light instantly is, boom, the trampoline. All right, the reason why I'm on this trampoline, because I need to go measure myself. I need to know what my starting point is before this journey. So I need to weigh myself, I need to use the tape measure and get circumference measurements, and I need to take before pictures. All three of those things are extremely important before you start your weight loss journey so that I can track my progress and know if I'm even making progress. So you need those 3 data points. But first, let's do a backflip together. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Is this even safe? Should I do this? I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Probably gonna break my camera. Not gonna do it. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Or maybe without the camera. Actually, let's do it without the camera. Come on. So I get this question a lot. Yuri, why would anybody go the online coaching route as opposed to just going to see an in-person personal trainer? Won't they get better results actually seeing someone as opposed to doing this virtually? And so my response is this: I've done both. I've done in person, I've done online. And can I just say this? Online coaching provides way more accountability than in person. And the principle here is proximity does not equal to accountability. Think about your spouse. You could be married to your spouse. That doesn't mean just because you're living in the same house that you have accountability from them. So here's why there's more accountability virtually. Because when you see a coach in person, right? At the gym, they're waiting for you. You see them 3 times a week. Well, there's 168 hours in a week. And let's say you're seeing them 3 hours that week. Who's holding you accountable the 165 hours? No one. And then when you see your personal trainer, the conversation is always past tense. Hey, how was your nutrition? Hey, did you do your workouts since we've last seen each other? And if the answer is no, then the coach says, well, try harder next time, right? So everything's reactive. Whereas on the online platform, things are more proactive. We see things more in real time. What you're eating throughout the day, how much you're eating, whether or not you're doing the workouts, how much weight you're doing. And so we are seeing things in real time, and so we're able to take a more proactive approach in our coaching to prevent people to fall off track, preventing people from just giving up. And so the online platform absolutely 100% provides better accountability, and that's why I prefer online coaching. And so I have clients all over the country, all over the world, and it's honestly really easy. And so clients, they love to just go work out on their own when they have an app and they're able to just look at their workouts and do it on their own time, as opposed to meeting a specific time at a specific location with a specific trainer. This just provides more flexibility for that busy parent that's go, 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 and that they can't necessarily predict their schedule 2, 3, 4 days in advance. Well, that wraps up my morning workflow. I'm hungry. Let's go grab some lunch. All right, for lunch, we're gonna make homemade burgers. Burgers are one of my favorite meals. And when you make them at home with small tweaks that I'll show you in just a second, you can enjoy a solid burger with cheese and continue to lose weight. So here are my ingredients. I got my veggies. I got thin sliced cheddar cheese. I got 93.7 beef. That is key, 93.7 beef. And then I got some buns. So we're gonna make some homemade meal, and I'm gonna make some fries. Lunch is served. I got a homemade burger. I got homemade fries. Got some water here. So here is how I'm gonna lose this weight without dieting per se. It's actually called flexible dieting. And the idea is this: there's a certain amount of calories that you need to eat each day, which we've already established in the previous video. And so as long as I hit those calories each day, I can eat whatever I want. So I have the power to choose what I'm gonna eat and what I'm not gonna eat. The traditional diet will tell you, you can't eat this, you have to eat this. Stay away from these types of foods, eat more of this type of food. And usually it's not sustainable because people don't eat that way. And so what I like to do is I like to look at what I like to eat normally and ask the question, how can I make small tweaks to what I'm already eating in order to lose weight? I do that with my clients, I do that with myself. And so for example, this is the meal that I'm eating: a burger, fries, some ketchup. And so the tweak here is, instead of using like a 80-20% ground beef, what I'm doing is using a 93.7%. Much leaner, less calories. If you go to the frozen food section and just buy frozen patties, a lot of calories in those. If you go to the fresh meat section and buy already pre-made fresh patties, also a lot of calories because they're using 80-20 ground beef. So I went and got the 93.7, I smashed them myself, I seasoned them, and I put them on the grill. And that's how you could get a meal like this for the fraction of the calories. So this flexible dieting approach is what helped me lose the 65 pounds. During that journey, I didn't feel like I was dieting. I didn't feel like, oh, I can't wait to lose all this weight so I could go back to normal eating, because the way I was losing weight was realistic, sustainable, and enjoyable. So the question I ask myself every time, how can I lose weight in such a way that once I reach my goal, there's nothing else to go back to, because the way I lost weight was realistic, sustainable, and enjoyable. And so this is realistic, sustainable, and enjoyable. I'm not eating salads. I'm not eating vegetables all day. I'm not eating lettuce in the corner while my family eats normal food. My family already just ate this meal. But losing weight doesn't need to be boring. It doesn't need to be something like, oh, I dread this. Flexible dieting is the way, and that's basically hitting your calorie goals while eating whatever you like. Now, what I do, my specialty, is being able to look at someone's nutrition, how they normally eat, and being able to pinpoint what needs to be tweaked, what needs to be changed in order to drastically cut their calories in that meal so that they could leverage that for their weight loss. And there you have it. This is what flexible dieting is all about. Now, while I have you here, it probably makes sense to take a bite into this food so you could experience through me what this tastes like. Let's go. Now that's a burger. All right, I'm gonna eat this burger. I'll see you on the other side. Earlier this morning, I took all the measurements I need in order to establish my baseline where I'm at. And most people, they just step on the scale and that is it. I'm gonna share with you my routine and what I do to ensure that I have a solid starting point. That way, as time progresses, I could truly evaluate with confidence, knowing whether or not I'm moving forward towards my goal or not. So the first thing, let's talk about weighing yourself. I believe the best practice is doing it once a week. If you do it every day, you get too focused on the scale and just psychologically, mentally, it probably will deplete you and discourage you. Pick a time that you're gonna measure yourself every week. So for me, it's gonna be Sunday morning. That's weigh-in day. And the way I do it is first thing in the morning, before I drink anything, I use the restroom, I'm in the least amount of clothing, and then I step on the scale. I do this exactly the same every single week, no exceptions. A common mistake with people is that they'll step on the scale Tuesday afternoon. The next week, it's like at the gym, 7 p.m., Friday night, they step on the scale with all of their clothes. And then the following week, it's in the morning. And so they're not really comparing apples to apples. If you truly want to measure your success, you need to weigh yourself. Same time, same day, same scenario. So I am in the least amount of clothing. I use the restroom. I hope to go number 2. That way everything's out of my system and I don't drink any water before the weigh-in. That's how I do my weigh-ins. Let's talk about the other measurements that are crucial to determine whether or not you're progressing forward. And it's not just the weight, also circumference measurements. I found during my 65-pound weight loss journey that I did back in 2018 that sometimes the scale would not budge. But guess what? My inches would shrink. And so I learned that sometimes you may put on muscle during your weight loss journey and the scale won't catch that. It won't know it because it's weight is weight. But inches would get smaller and smaller around my midsection, around my arms, around my chest. And so I do circumference measurements because that tells a better story. So measure the areas that you care about most. If it's your midsection, if it's your thighs, if it's your arms, if it's your neck, whatever it is, make sure you measure that every single week along with your weight. The third and final way I gauge my progress are before and after pictures. I take pictures once a month, the front, the side, and the back. This is extremely important and I can't stress this enough. And here's why. When we look at ourselves in the mirror, the only thing we see usually is the front side of our body. But the back and the side we don't look at often. And if I'm only measuring my success based on what I see in the front, I will be disappointed because typically the midsection is the last thing that ends up shrinking. And if I'm only looking and gauging from my midsection to see if I lost any weight, I'm gonna be discouraged. But I am shocked every time I compare my back pictures. That back fat is real, but it's typically something I don't stare at, I don't look at. And then when my wife or when my daughter takes a back picture of me, I'm able to compare and I see that crease gone. I see that fat roll disappearing. It encourages me. And same thing from the side. Sometimes your arms will look smaller. Sometimes even your midsection will shrink, but you can't notice that looking straight on. You gotta get it from the side angle. So don't skip out on that. Front, side, and back pictures, I usually do those once a month, whereas circumference measurements and the weigh-in, I do every single week. So I hope this is helpful for you. Do this. It's a basic thing. It's something that we overlook oftentimes when we're on this weight loss journey, but your baseline needs to be established the correct way, and this is how we do it. Well, we're on our way to church. I got the gang with me, but we are home alone without Mommy. Mommy is on a women's retreat, at a women's retreat for about 4 days. And so I am babysitting the kids. Just kidding. I learned that the hard way. Dads, we don't babysit. We father. As dads, we don't take our kids to in-laws or parents because Mommy's gone. We step up, we cook, we clean, we change diapers, we do it all. That's just how it is. As dads, for me personally, that's kind of how I approach fathering, is doing everything Mommy would do, except laundry. I'm just not good there. Not gonna lie, just not good with laundry. But yeah, so every Wednesday they go to church for an activity, and so I think I'll be working on the computer from there. And that's our evening. Wish me luck as I try to survive without my wife for the next few days, but I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. Well, that's a wrap for this video. Gonna hop on my computer, edit it, release it, and I'll see you in the next video.